Good day, YouTube. It is the 13th of November, 2025. And this is going to be a little bit different video for Glenn Speed Shop in that I like to bake sourdough bread and rolls and things like that. And my wife is having a holiday bazaar in her newly remodeled studio behind our house starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And I wanted to bake some sourdough for her event. So I'm going to do a couple batches of dinner rolls and a couple batches of cinnamon rolls for her holiday bazaar slash sale. And I don't really want to. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm kind of doing it for fun, to add a little bit to her event. And I think most everything will just get sampled out, and that will be fine fun for me. It's a 2-day deal, so I'm going to bake again tomorrow prepare to bake for tomorrow for Saturday's event. Today is Thursday, so I'll get everything ready today, and so I can bake first thing in the morning and have everything hot and fresh for Friday morning, and then get prepared tomorrow, Friday, for Saturdays, and get up early Saturday and get everything baked. So with sourdough, of course, you gotta know what you're gonna do that next day, because you have to prepare for it. So today this morning, I'm getting all of my sourdough starters out. I kind of did a discard thing yesterday so I could get my levels down in my jars. So I'm running 4 jars starters today, obviously. And what I decided to do is to put the contents, or my discard, basically into 4 baggies. Yeah. And see if somebody wants to buy them. So 225-year-old starter for $4. And these are active, so they're ready to go. So I'll take those tomorrow. My discard jar is also full. My discard jar, I do feed it once in a while too, so it's as active as these are, which is kind of crazy, I know. So let me get these fed. Then I'm going to put them in my proofing box, which I just turned on this morning. I have a video on my channel where I built this. So again, I just turned it on. So my inside temperature of my box, it's doing weird things on the shutter. 61.6 degrees. My set point is 82 degrees. So I'm going to manage my starter today at 82 degrees. And if you want to see real quick, my starter, I didn't turn my other lights on. My starters will live in here. So it turns these on. So basically my heating elements in my proofing box are 40-watt appliance light bulbs. And at the moment I only had one on, so I'm glad I looked. Because this would make temperature, possibly, with only one bulb on, but make it very slowly. Oh, and I have one, if it's really cold climate, I have one more that I can plug into the plug strip. That is part of my design. That's my thermocouple for my digital controller. And anyway, I can plug one more bulb in, because I don't heat the shop. It's not insulated or anything. Here we are, November, so it's not horribly cold outside, but in the wintertime, if it gets down to freezing or below freezing, I'll plug one more light in so that I can keep my starters good. And then when I get my dough all done, I can put them back in. I should have made notes to the temperatures that I prefer, but it's been a year. I don't really have time during the summer to bake, but I do it in the winter, and I love to do it. And so that's what this is all about. So let me get these things fed. I'll put you in the stand. You can just watch how I do it. It's very scientific. Not. Some people are very scientific. That's fantastic. I'm not. I just I've done this now for so long keeping my starters healthy. And I always keep multiple starters in case I screw one of them up. It's happened. Here we go. Okay. So I keep my flour in this 5-gallon food safe bucket that I got at locally. We'll open all these up. We're gonna feed them real quick. Everybody has their own methods, and all of them are correct. If you ask 100 different people how to make sourdough, you're gonna get 100 different answers. I just use this little 1/3 cup. It's just my favorite, and it's a good diameter. It fits the wide mouth jars. Typically I just put 2 1/3 cups in. I think today I'll do 3 per jar. Because I need a lot of starter this week. If you don't need a lot of starter, then I don't feed them quite as heavy. Hopefully that was 3. You can feed them more, you can feed them less. And again, there's lots of opinions, but you know what? It also varies from location to location. I use bottled water. I don't have city water here at my barn. So you can see this is very precision. It's exactly that much. That's how much we put in it. And then, I don't know, I've been using a butter knife for stirring this up for a long time. Kind of scrape the sides down a little bit. It is garbage day in the cul-de-sac. I hear the garbage man out there. All right, let's cover them back up. Won't fit on there. It wanted to fight me. I'm gonna win. So we'll get these fed. We'll get them in the proofing box. I got some errands to do for my wife today. I'll go do those. And then later today we will make the dough. We'll get them back in the proofing box, and then we'll do a stretch and fold or 2. And then in the morning we will bake. All right, we got them in the box. And, oh, I forgot to, hang on a second. I almost forgot. This is a grease pencil, and I mark the level so that I know when I've, doubled in size. Then you can just wipe it off every time you're changing the level of your starter, and you can get an accurate depiction of what's going on. So yeah, close it up. We've cooled down to 66 degrees, but we're headed back up to 82, and that won't take very long. I'm gonna go do some running around. We'll come back. We'll just look and see how much has occurred in my starter jars. And we'll make some dough this afternoon. Here we go. Boys and girls, these have been in there about, I don't know, 2.5 hours. A little over maybe. That one's almost tripled. These have all about doubled. And so it's ready to cook with. So again, if you ask 100 people, you get 100 different answers on when should you cook with your starter. Get to know your starter, first of all. I kind of got to know these starters. This starter, it's actually one starter in 4 different containers. I believe these are getting close to topping out, and that's when I like to make my bread dough, is when they're just topping out. I think of them like little Pac-Men, like the game Pac-Man, and then they're in there going num 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 num. And right now they are eating as fast as they can. So if you use it now, while they're doing this, when you throw your new flour in for your dough, they're still eating. They're still on. They're still foot to the floor, going strong. So that's what I think. I'm gonna make a shelf for this thing real quick, and then I'll be back. I'm gonna try to maybe measure. Remember, this is an old toolbox. It looks like a casket, I know, but it's not. I'm gonna try to make some shelves for this, so I can put my skillets in here 2 skillets high. I've not done this before, which is kind of why I'm videoing. I've never made production, if you will, amount of rolls. So I'm going to do 4 batches, 2 dinner rolls, 2 cinnamon rolls simultaneously. I'm going to do this 2 days in a row. So I just want to see if I can do it. So I'm going to make some shelves for this, and then we'll get on to getting our dough ready in 3, 2, 1. All right, boys and girls, we're going to get started. We're going to do the dinner rolls first. 2 batches is what we're shooting for. This is my recipe. I'm going to show it here. You can pause the camera if you want to. You can read my handwriting. Go through it super quick. 1 cup of starter, and that's going to be a very generous cup. The more active it is, the lighter weight it is, and the less volume you're going to get. I mean, you're going to have to get more than a cup to get a cup if it's really active like mine is right now. 1/3 cup of sugar, 3/4 cup of warm water. I put a couple bottles in the proofing box to kind of get them to like summer room temperature, something like that. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup melted butter, got it on the stove already, and 2.5 cups of flour. I do everything in my KitchenAid mixer. You can do it as you please. Again, you ask 100 people how to make sourdough, you get 100 different answers, and they're all correct. Okay, so 1 cup of starter. I usually grab 2 1 cups. I guess I have failed so far. 1 for wet stuff, 1 for dry stuff. You know what I mean? And then as soon as we're done making our dough, then I'll refeed. I'll feed these starters in the morning because I gotta cook with them tomorrow. So you always got a plan, right? Cup of starter. I said generous, I meant it. Okay, a cup is a generalization. Yeah, something like that. And I'm not going to take all the starter out of one jar. I'm going to take 1 cup out of each jar. That way there's room to feed those. Why didn't I grab a spatula? I don't know. I'm just slacking today. I don't really cook with this stuff every day. It's just kind of more of a holiday season tradition for me. Yeah. Generous 1 cup, I say. Okay. We're going to seal this back up real quick. Again, feed it tomorrow morning. This went in around 9:30. 2.5 hours later, it was doubled to tripled in size. That's certainly signs of a good starter. There was no science to how to feed it. That's why I showed it to you. Get a feel for your starter, all right? And feed it appropriately. Okay, again, doing 2 batches. So let's just mix them at the same time. This one's a little bit drier. Yeah. 1 cup out of each jar. That's why I have 4 jars going. I have seen a lot of videos where folks take all the starter out of their jars and leave just some scrapings along the side. And it works for them. It's amazing, but it works for them. I'm too scared to try it, quite honestly. I'd rather throw a little away than risk something going bad with those little scrapings or whatever. Nope, that's not for me. It works, not for me. Starter. Now we need a 1/3 cup of sugar. A 1/3 cup of sugar. I had washed the lid on this. I put a paper towel there so I didn't get water in my sugar. 1/3 cup. 1/3 cup. Yeah, I don't like these containers. The lids are hollow, they get water in. 3/4 cup warm water. I gotta grab the water out of the proofing box. Double check. 3/4 cup. I'm gonna use this and put about 3/4 of a cup. 3/4 of a 1 cup. 1/3. 1/3. Didn't use bottled water. I don't have water service here anyway. That's the way we roll. There. And 1 teaspoon of saltage. SALT of 1 teaspoon. And this is sea salt. Heapers. 1 heaper teaspoon. There we go. 1 heaper teaspoon salt. 1/4 cup melted butter. 1/4 cup. This is a 1/3 cup. It'll be a little less than this then, won't it? Gonna stir it just a minute. Well, not a minute. A second. So a little shy of a 1/3. That'll work. That'll work. Stay warm on the stove. I usually have the wood stove going, but it's really not that cold out. It would be uncomfortably warm in here if I did that. So 2 to 2.5 cups of flour. 2 to 2.5 cups of flour, which means 2.5 cups. I know that. I started off when I was doing my recipe with approximations, and I no longer need approximations. I can do it exactly now. Remember I said I was going to get 2 1-cup measures out because I got one for wet stuff and one for dry stuff, and I forgot to get the second one out. I think it's age, possibly. All right, 2.5 cups. That's 1. That's 2. And a half. It's just a little more. And we'll sift it in. How's that? Y'all like to sift your stuff in? I like to sift my stuff in. We need 2.5 for the other batch. 1. 2-ish. And a half-ish. 2.5-ish. Just all-purpose flour, unbleached, all-purpose flour. I get it at Winco, and it's less than $12 for 25 pounds. I got one in reserve right there. Yep, just in case. Well, we're doing a lot of baking this season. Okay, now it's KitchenAid time. KitchenAid will take over, and essentially it's going to do the kneading for us. Lock her down, low speed. Okay, I'm going to let this run for a significant length of time. When it gets kind of good, but it's got some stuff stuck on the edge, I'll stop the mixer and use my spatula and get it down off the edge. And we'll let it run for like 8 to 10 minutes, okay? Because that's like its kneading situation. And then we'll get it out on the counter and we'll kind of stretch and fold it. We'll put it back in that container, we'll cover it, put it in the proofing box, okay, keep it warm. And yeah, we'll do 2 at a time. And then we'll come back and we'll mix up the cinnamon rolls. There we go. All right, just about a minute in, you can see that she's looking like dough. But it'll look better when it's like 8 minutes from now. Here we go. All right, we're getting there. We're about there, or we are there. Okay, we're running at second gear. There's our dough. We'll peel it off the hook. We'll get this other one going while we continue with this one. Clamp that on there pretty good. Go ahead. And I have 5 bowls for my mixer. Yeah, that's almost enough. First gear till she's all mixed. Then we'll clean off the sides like we did this one. We'll go second gear for 8 minutes. Sorry for the cords, it's how we roll around here. I'll move you. Okay. Let's flour our work surface. Clumpage. I put them back in the bowl, by the way. Okay. We're going to stretch and fold this a little bit. This one here is actually a little stiff, but it'll be okay. Stretch the skin. Okay, and we'll chuck it back in the bowl. And we'll let that rise. Seems looking pretty good. Second gear. 8 minutes. I'm going to cover this, put it back in the proofing box. I think I'm going to run it at about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. There she is, tucked in the proofing box. I will adjust the temperature. I should really start making notes because sometimes you really dial stuff in. So right now, inside the box is at 76.3 degrees. My set point was 82. We're just going to take that to... I got to hold that for a sec. Okay, I got to hold it for 5 seconds. There we go. 82, 83, 84, 85. Set. Yeah, you'll be fine. Okay, and this is that 2 degrees. That's how much it's allowed to go up over. It can go over the set point by a couple degrees, and it will turn the lamps back on, and 2 degrees below 85. So at 83 degrees, it'll turn the lights back on. That's really what I want to say. Okay, it'll be fine. Okay, so we're coming up on our 8 minutes in the mixer. It's looking real good. We'll give it another minute or two. If you find that your dough's a little like too wet, I mean, you could drop a little bit of flour in there, kind of sprinkle it, and let it go for a few more minutes. But it's looking pretty good, so we'll run with it in this condition. Okay, we'll give it a couple more minutes. We'll get it out. Okay, was getting ready for the next round. So this guy maybe kneaded to death. Nah, it'll be fine. A little more moisture in this one than there was in the first one. I don't know what is up, but I mean, they'll be fine, but it's weird. Maybe my approximations are getting the best of me. Huh? You think? You think? Well, come on down. She's a little sticky. It'll be fine. It will be fine. It's going to take up some of that flour. Oh yeah, it should be fine. It's a little more typical though of my recipe. If it's a little light duty like this one, you just need to stretch and fold it a little more. And it'll come into compliance. You'll soak up a little flour. If there's a point, fold it. Oh yeah. Soak up the flour. Oh yeah. We'll put all our seams at the bottom and we will pull this around and around and around. Oh yeah. I'm going to drop a little flour in the bottom of this pan or this mixing bowl. Yep. There we go. All right, let me get this one in the proofing box and we will get set up to do cinnamon rolls. All right, I guess we're set up as we're going to be. I got 2 new jars. I need, jars out of the proofing box with sourdough starter in them. Remember, I'm going to take just 1 cup out of 4 jars, not 4 cups out of 1 jar. There's not 4 cups in 1 jar. Anyway, so you want to see my recipe? So be prepared to pause your video device. So we're going to weigh this one out. The recipe that I started with was in grams, and that is the way we're going to make this one. It works good. These are fantastic cinnamon rolls. They are the best I've ever had. And I've had a lot of people tell me that. I've had a lot of people tell me that with the dinner rolls we just got done preparing as well. So 150 grams of milk, 1 egg, 50 grams of brown sugar, 75 grams of butter. I said soft and cubed. That's the way the recipe was. I just melt it. It's on the stove. It's ready to go. 6 grams of salt, 200 grams of starter, and then 400 grams of flour. And that's that. And then the filling, which I've already done, I did it yesterday. I did 4 batches because we're doing 2 today and 2 tomorrow. 100 grams of butter, that's like just under a cube. 100 grams of brown sugar, 5 grams of cinnamon, or 2 teaspoons? No, I think that's 2 tablespoons. Anyway, mix to taste. And then the glaze that goes on top after we bake them. 60 grams of milk, 200 grams of powdered sugar, 1/2 a teaspoon of vanilla. And then we cook this whole thing 350 degrees for half an hour. You can see I have corrections and stuff. I just keep tweaking things until they work well. So here's the scale. Let's turn it on. Turn it on. Don't you give me any garbage. I put a new battery in you yesterday. What the heck? I was preparing. Alright. It was a new battery. It still is. New battery. Alright. We're going to put our mixing bowl up. We're going to 0 it. That is the tare. And then we're going to put 150 grams of milk in it. And over here at the barn, I use this shelf-stable milk because it's shelf-stable. That's why I use it. That's why I use it. 150 grams, I said. 80, 90, 100, 20, 30, 40, 58. 158 grams is precisely what we're using. And that's the milk. Then we go to 1 egg. 1 egg. I'm not going to crack it on my scale. Not going to do it. Oh yeah. I got my wood stove open. It's not burning, so I throw all my burnables in there, including eggshells. Alright, we did 1 egg. 50 grams of brown sugar. 50 grams. So let's put this back on the scale. We'll re-zero 50 grams of brown sugar. 50, I say. What does 50 grams look like? Well, that much, that much. We're at 30, maybe 1 more. Ooh, 46. 48. 54. 54. All right. Save that for the next one. 50 grams of brown sugar. 75 grams of butter. 75 grams of butter. It said soft and cubed. We ain't doing it that way. I am the chef. Oops, I want a 0. Double check my measurement again. 75 grams. 6, 20, 44, 56, 68, 70. Ooh, we'll clear to 80. I don't think my scale's that good. Also gonna need more butter for the next one. Okay, so what is next then? We just did butter. We need 6 grams of salt. So let's re-zero. Re-zero. We need 6 grams. This is sea salt. 6 grams. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, 6. 8. Well, we get what we get. Alright, so then we go 200 grams of starter. 200 grams of starter. There we are. Here we are. We're just going to pour it in directly. Hope we don't just like super exceed. Whoops. On. Whoops. It went off on me. Darn you anyway. Go to grams. We're at tear. We're at 0. We got a little in there. 200. So we dropped about that much in there. What was that worth? 32. So we'll put like 180 in. 180 in because we already, some already fell. 162. 176. That should do it. Smells good. It says 196. Close enough. Close enough. So I leave my wood stove open. Throw it away my paper trash. And we'll set it afire in the morning. It'd be cool in the morning. Alright. There's that one. And then we got starter and then we got stir. So we want to stir this. We'll stick it in the mixer in my KitchenAid and then we'll add the flour once we have stirred. Lock. First gear, second gear. Second gear, gotta break that egg. Is it broke yet? It just broke. Third gear. We'll let that go for a minute. We'll make it smooth. Shall we do this one? Alright, I'll do this one off camera. Alright, I got this one mixed except for the butter. And it's coming in right now. Turn on a scale. Make it grams. We're zeroed. And butter is 75. And here we go. 12. Still 12. Come on, scale work. 36. 46. 70. I come up a little short, didn't I? 72. It's close enough though. That's what I put in there. Try to make it to 75. Well, we're within 3 grams. Good enough. Alright, so this has just been stirring. So we'll pull this one off. Put this one on. We'll put our flour in, shall we? Second gear. And now for flour on. What are you doing? On grams. Set her up there. We'll zero. We're getting 400 grams of flour. You're kind of in my way, though. You're kind of in my way. 400 grams. With my little third cup machine there. 54. 108. 222. 340. Going for 400. 374, 382, 394, 398, 410. There we go. Alright. I'm going to move you over here because every time I move, you're in my way. You just got to look through the cords. Sorry, that's how we roll. Okay. This is the wrong beater, but I'm not going to dirty every tool I own. Okay. So this one's ready for mixing. Lock. First gear. First gear. We went straight to second gear. That's going to be a minute. We'll let that go. We need our 400 grams of flour in this guy. 400, here we go again. One, two, three, 4, 159. I have a scale issue. It says I have 1,674 grams. What the heck? No way. I don't know. My scale is weirded out on me. Hang on. Somehow or another I missed the zeroing it. I put 4 heaping third cups in here. So I duplicated that into this bowl. That was 276. So let's go. So 276. I need 125. So go back to glands. 0, 125 to fill this one in. I hope. 30, 60, 70, 90. 30. Hopefully we save that one for par. Hopefully. Okay. So we're gonna let this one knead. It's gonna knead for a while, and then we're gonna do the same like stretch and fold with it that we did with the dinner rolls. It's looking good. There's nothing stuck on the side. Looks awesome. I hope I saved this one because is one of you coming over to do these dishes? Just checking. I didn't know to wait or what. But anyway, let's let this one roll. All right, you've had enough. You've had enough. Oh yeah. So I just remembered I didn't sift my 400 grams of flour into this. Yeah. One of y'all could have reminded me, but it didn't do it. My bad. I'll take the blame for it. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. Whatever it is. Alright. First gear. Let's get this thing on the table. She's just a tickle sticky. Tickle sticky. Alright, we'll do this then. I'll show you a thing or three. Oh yeah. Stretch and fold. If it sticks out, stretch it. Just whip it. Whip it good. I'm feeling like this might have a little too much flour in it. What do you think? KitchenAid's getting noisy. It's telling me like, dude, what'd you do to me? We will save it for par. It doesn't feel that bad, actually. It doesn't feel that bad. Mistakes were made. I'm gonna put a little milk in it. I already stuck it back in the fridge. I'm gonna put a little bit of milk in it to make up for what I've done to you. What have I done to you? Click. Click. Second gear. Second gear will fix it. see if KitchenAid can fix what I screwed up. Alright, let's finish our stretch and fold here. While that is working, I'm sticking a little bit of flour in the bottom of that mixing bowl. Okay. Pull her tight. We're just stretching her like a bald head here. Boing. Alright, that's going in the proofing box. This is going to be a minute. Might be coming around. I might have got it just a little wet now. So I guess it was pretty close. It didn't actually feel too bad. We can drop just a tickle in it. Yeah, she's starting to bundle. Yeah. We just had to fine tune it. It'll be fine. Here we go. Alright. KitchenAid to the rescue. It's looking great. Oh yeah. It's looking good there. Looking good. We saved it. Saved it for par. It's probably going to be delicious. More delicious than the one we didn't screw up on. Possibly. It's the right, I mean, it's perfect consistency. She's peeling off the hook. It is going to be off the hook. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever done an in-depth sourdough video before. See if anybody watches it. Goodwill. Got just a little left in the bottom there. We'll peel it. We'll peel it. Go to yard sales, state sales, Goodwill, etc. Always hunting for KitchenAid accessories. I don't care about the pasta makers and all that stuff, but I have a collection of KitchenAid mixer accessories, the bowls. Got 5 of them now. That's just mine. My wife has her own mixer and her own accessories. And then dough hooks and beaters and stuff. If it's sticking out, fold it. Okay. We saved this. This is perfect here. Nothing wrong with that. Stretch that around. Stretch it around. Where's my flour? I didn't put none in the bottom. I didn't put none in the bottom. Fold it in like a little bald head. Here we go. Alright. Let's put that in the proofing box, shall we? Alright, all 4 of them. This is the first one that went in, so it's the first one we'll do. Second, third, fourth. This was always the plan, is to be able to do multiple batches in this. It is just the first time I have done so. So these are my water, so they're warm when I'm ready to mix recipes. So we fixed that, didn't we? So we have to remember these two are these two are cinnamon rolls. These two are dinner rolls. You don't want to mix them up. But if anybody was going to do it, it's going to be me. All right. You open this up wide open and you lose all the heat. So we're currently at 78.9 degrees. Set point is at 85. That thermometer is fairly accurate right at the moment. It's not always though. Anyway, let's let this be for a while. I think how we'll proceed. some people, and even me, will pull these out and do a stretch and fold again, put them back in and let them rise again, a second rise. We are not going to do that. We are not. What we are going to do is pull them out and prep them as the rolls they need to be. And I cook in my gas oven. It's a propane oven on 2 shelves. Sorry, it's a mess. I'll fill this little pan up with water because we kind of steam this, right? We don't cook in this. It's just a water vessel that will let off steam while everything is cooking in there. So we'll fill that up and it'll cook down to about halfway. And if I'm really need more cooking, I can make 2 pans in the wood burning Monarch, but we don't need that. So, and I cook in cast iron skillets. So I prepared them yesterday. I used 12-inch. That's a rough measurement. They're 11.5 to 12.5 inch. This is my 14. I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 12-inch skillets, and they are all ready to go. Of course, I only need 4 for today's activity. So 4 skillets will be prepared, 2 with cinnamon rolls, 2 with dinner rolls, and cook them in the morning. I have to get up real early. My wife's event starts at 9, and so forth. So we'll double check the cook times. The cinnamon rolls, 350 for a half an hour, 350 for 35 minutes for the dinner rolls. We will cook them all at one time. So we need to add a little bit of time to that because everything is going to be in the oven simultaneously. And yeah, so let me get cleaned up here while those are warming up. The idea is that they double in size, and then we're going to take them out. We're going to prepare them as the rolls they are, put them in the cast iron, and then put them back in the proofing box to proof so that I can cook them. Now is when you really got to think about when do you want to cook with these. And I want to cook with these early in the morning, so I don't want them that warm because they will rise very quickly. So when we take the dough out and we prepare these in their cast iron, we will turn the heating portion of that box off. So we will just let it be cool this evening and tonight and cook them in the morning. I'll get here early. Should they need to be raised a little bit, we can turn the heat on, but they'll probably be fine. They will have raised to the point where that's what we're looking for. But if I warm that up, they will overproof. They will get huge and not look very nice. They'll taste fine, but they just won't look very nice. So we don't want that to happen. So that's the plan. I will see you in a few hours. All right, and we're back. It's about 7:30 in the evening. I did wait about as long as I could so that these things don't do their second rise for too long. Okay, let's open this up, see what we got. Oh yeah, nice. This is not quite as big as the others. Remember, these 2 here were cinnamon rolls. Open it up. So these here are dinner rolls. Show you how we do them. I think we'll just let that one sit in there a little longer. Let's rotate these. Put that one real close to the heat. That'll be good. Don't break the light bulb. Okay. Okay. Alright, I'll put you in the stand. Alright, you're gonna have to look through the cables again. because that's how we roll. All right, plastic wraps on. Just put a little flour on the situation. I need my spatula. I haven't done dishes yet. One of you was supposed to come do these, I thought. That's alright, I got another one. Yep. Alright, we're gonna stick a little bit of flour on my bowl here. That way it doesn't stick when we get the other side. And dump it out. And now we don't need this no more. Okay. She's warm. Oh, wow. It's such a great feel. Sticks out, fold it. Okay. Everybody develops their own style. And this is mine. Dinner rolls. Yeah. Get all the air in this thing. We're gonna have to punch this down, or it'll just keep coming back. Yeah, we're just not gonna use a rolling pin. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it'd be fun. It's got to be lots of elasticity in it. It does, it does, it does. Lots of elasticity. All right, we're gonna have to cut this in 8, count them, 8 equal parts. 8 equal parts. Where's my knife? All right, we'll cut it in half. Cut it in quarters. And then we'll cut the quarters in half. And again, it's just how I do it. Remember what I said, you ask 100 people, get 100 different ways. It all gets you to the end, doesn't it? Everybody develops their own method for making their rolls. And this is how I do it. Get all the seams down there on the bottom. You pull it nice and pretty on the top, like a little bald head. Okay. There's one. It sticks out, fold it. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. we're just pulling on that surface, pull it around, make it tight, make it tight, make it round. Oh yeah. That's 2. One more and then I'll finish these off camera. We'll finish both pans off camera. And then we're going to let these rise tonight, all night. I'm going to turn off the heat. There'll be no heat going. And this whole space isn't heated either. I've got a couple burners going on my gas stove. Take the chill off. It's not that cold out. It's like 54 degrees. But just keeping me comfortable behind me. Just keeping me comfortable. No sense being uncomfortable. Okay. Everybody has their own technique. We make it round. That's full. All right. I'll bring you back when they're all done, and then we'll move on to cinnamon rolls. Oh, yeah. All right, they are back in the saddle again. In our proofing box, I'm going to try to lay a towel over it while I hold the camera at the same time. How'd that work? Kinda, sorta. Kinda, sorta. Alright. Thought about using the same towel for 2 layers. That's not gonna work. Okay, Betty bye. This is my shelf that I made earlier, which works fine. There we go. And we'll set the next layer up here. Okay, that means it's cinnamon roll time. It is. We got them out. Means we got to roll them out. The filling I did yesterday, but I've stuck it in the fridge. I need to unsolidify it, and usually I got the wood stove going, but I don't today. So I'm gonna have to do it on the stove. Okay, so I have it going on warm. I should have started that a bit ago though. Might be a little delay here. Might be a little delay. How sticky are you? We're a little sticky. Except for where I floured the bowl. Not bad, I say. Alright. Nice and warm. Now then, this one should roll a little better with a rolling pin. Some of these are going to be bigger, some will be smaller. That's just the way that works. But I'd like for this to be sort of square-ish. Okay. I mean rectangle. You know what I mean. We're not making pie crust here. Okay, so now we got to put our glaze in. This is where this whole delay thing is going to happen. Stand by. All right, we turned the solid back to a liquid without too much issues. It's a little warm now. So this is 4 batches. So actually it's 4 batches and then some. We will not run out. Somewhere in there. We'll see how that works. Burners are off. Yep, somewhere in there. Now, I got to roll this up. I should learn to do this the other direction. But, you know. Right. Forgot to get my skillets down, didn't I? Oh yeah. Yeah, I did. I gotta wipe these out. They're just a little oily. I did it yesterday. Sorry. I gotta get a little parchment paper, which I left out over here. In here. Yep. Okay, now then, I need a knife. That's not a knife. No, that's a knife. Okay, so I need like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be a little more than that. So knowing that, I'll take a little more. Oh yeah. I need to move this. Put that in the center. And there we go. All right. I'll put this in over here. I'll wrap it up in a minute. We'll get on to the other one. Bring you back. All right, they're in the proofing box, just to keep them safe more than anything. Because again, we're not going to run any heat in it tonight because they will over raise. We're hoping that they just fill the pan in the morning and be good to bake. So we will see them again in the morning. All right, good morning everybody. It is the next day, and it's about 7:30 in the morning. I was here about an hour ago, and I checked on the Lisa cinnamon rolls because they're on the top layer, and they had raised properly. They didn't over raise, so that was great. But they looks like they could have raised a little more. So I went ahead and turned the heat on and went up to 88 degrees, and we can shut that down. I'll just turn the temperature way down. If I do this angle, it won't do that shutter thing. There we go. And let's see how it did in the last hour. Oh yeah, that looks good. Looks good, doesn't it? Oh yeah. So I just turned the oven on to warm it up. And we'll get these in there just a minute. Yeah, those look great. And they'll rise just a little more during the baking process. I like my little shelves. Oh boy, these are heavy. Left-handed. Left-handed. Alright, let's see how the dinner rolls did, because I never looked at those this morning. Man, I got a lot of stuff to put away. Whew. It's been a busy yard sale season. Bring it in and just set it down, you know. Nice. Nice. We did pretty good there, guys. We did pretty good. These are, I've got these set for going in the oven at 350 for about 30-35 minutes. But when you put 4 pans of them in there, it's going to take a little longer. So probably 40-45 minutes. I love it when they, and this is why I cook in 12-inch skillets. One batch just fits 12-inch skillet. I've cooked them in 10-inch skillets, you know, like that chicken fryer on the stove, and you know, it's just they're too crowded. I wouldn't mind cooking in the 14, that one there, but I only have one 14, and I can't get 2 on a shelf in my oven. Can't get 2 14-inch skillets on one shelf in my oven. These will just fit. In fact, you got to kind of maneuver them a little bit to make them just fit, but they will. Right. I went out and put the yard sale signs out, or the bazaar sale signs out this morning. I made 5 of them. My wife is putting final touches on. Got the fire going in the little wood stove in our studio. Man, do those look good. Golly. I make the best dinner rolls. I swear I do. They're really, really good. Cinnamon rolls are outstanding. And I have the glaze for the cinnamon rolls all made up already. I showed you the recipe earlier. And if I don't put a fire in the, well, if I don't put a fire in the wood stove, I'm going to run out of room to put my burnables. Okay, let me put you on the stand. Okay. I have water in the pan. Remember, I cooked these with a little steam. We're going to put 1 cinnamon roll on the bottom shelf. 1 dinner roll on the bottom shelf. This is the heaviest skillet I own right there. And the dinner roll up top. Nice. Let's see. That timer's needs a battery or something. Let's see. Always got to remember how to use this. We'll go for 35 minutes. 2, 4, 5. Start. Alright, I'll bring you back. We're ready to pull these out of the oven. Alright. Alright, boys and girls, I have refed the starters because remember I got to cook for tomorrow as well. We'll put them in the proofing box, and later today I got to make the dough. As soon as it kind of calms down at my wife's sale, I'll come and make the dough. So I want to run the proofing box today at around 80-82 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can see I remarked my jars. Actually, 2 of them were the same today as they were yesterday, so I didn't have to remark those. But got new marks on them. This way, you know, when your starter is about to double in size, and that's as it is coming up to doubling in size is the optimum time to cook with it. Right? We'll change this from 30. We'll go to 82. 6, 7, 8. 82. Okay. set. Lights will go on. We've got 16 minutes, probably be like 21 minutes. But anyway, we're going to check this in 16 minutes. See what it's looking like. I'll bring you back when we do it. These are my heater, by the way. It's a little chilly this morning. Not too bad. We're ticking down. Shut up, TV. For the plan to advance, Hamas must
skip panel. Panel.
Trying to get my TV to
0 to 222 to 39.
So slow, I hit the button too many times. Dang you, anyway. All right, let's have a peek, shall we? Oh, yeah. See the steam coming off the water. Got a ways to go. This one on top, though. That one. We'll pull that one. We'll look at the top row cinnamon rolls. Bottom row dinner rolls got to go a little bit longer. So this is where we get to peek and make decisions, all right? Not necessarily just about time. It's about how done are they. All right, I'll bring you back when I pull them out. All right, everything is out of the oven. This was the last thing I pulled out of the oven, and it probably went an extra 10 minutes. Yeah. Turn on your smell-o-vision, because this is wonderful. We'll just butter these up. Again, I've got the glaze right here. But we're going to let it cool a little bit. At least a little bit. There we go. All right. Well, guys, I think that's going to conclude this video. I know it went long. I don't know how long, but I wanted to do one video where I took you from start to finish, and we got a chance to chat a little bit. And this is 2 batches of sourdough dinner rolls, 2 batches of sourdough cinnamon rolls. Again, for my wife's holiday bazaar, which starts in about an hour. So these are fresh out of the oven. I'm going to cover them in tin foil and get them over to the house. And my wife can do with what she wants. If I make enough money to pay for my ingredients, I'm pretty happy. If I don't, it doesn't matter. We're just going to have some fun with it. We're going to do this again for tomorrow's sale. And that's going to be that. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give it a thumbs up because, well, that just helps me. I didn't charge you anything for this video, but that is a way you can pay me back. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next video.